Gemini, hi. So this is going to be a reading for November 17th through the 23rd. And I'll take a look into your recent past, your current energies, and your immediate future. And then I'll close it off with a couple of cards from the universe for you. And these are general readings, so they may not resonate for all of you. If they do, there's an extended. At the end of the video, you can check out the link for that in the description box below if you want. Let's see, Gemini. The overall energy for the reading, the Hierophant. Let me see real quick. Yeah, we're talking about a commitment to someone. Anyways, in the recent past, the Eight of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, the Lovers. Yeah, there's a commitment there. And it's pretty strong as far as you're concerned from your end. It's looking like you definitely felt something building, something being put together there. Quite deep you felt all of these energies. And you're giving to that. This is your perspective. This is your side of things. Okay. In the current situation, the Queen of Swords, the Devil, the Page of Wands. Well, this looks a little bit... How do I put this? Is it obsessive? Something around obsessive, but I can't... If I place it as obsessive, it doesn't 100% make sense. Maybe the tendency to obsess about something, to get addicted even with something here. The possibility of that is definitely at play. I don't think you're full mode in these energies. I think it's the tendency or the possibility for you to fall into that trap of, oh my God, now I'm addicted to this, or now I develop some sort of obsession over something, you know? I think it's here. I think you're kind of playing around this energy here over something or someone even. In the immediate future, you get the Ten of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. Slowly but surely, there seems to be a little bit of a restructuring energy at play when it comes to your stability. So that could mean maybe you're moving to another house, maybe you're getting a different job. There's a what you knew as stable is being cut off, and then there's a continuation to it, so a sense of restructuring almost at play. Okay, let's clarify. Let's do the Hierophant. You are always the one that's gonna be on a very slippery slope with this energy. For the Hierophant, you get the Eight of Wands, the Moon, the Emperor. The fantasy land is back. You're taking things places. So let's say there's a conversation, right, between you and somebody. Let's say it's a friend. And it's a regular conversation about something. I don't fucking know. Let's give you a topic. Let's give you the simplest possible time. Hey, is it raining by you? And you're like, no, but I do see some clouds forming, and I think it's gonna rain pretty soon. Oh, okay, because it's raining by where I'm at, and that's it. That's the conversation. Let's say. And then you're probably gonna talk about something else, but I'll give you something really simple. And then you take that as, why would they ask if it's raining? I think they like me. I think they want to know if I have a coat in case I go out. And, you know, like I think, and you could take that places, man. You could take that places. You could take that to, we already have kids and we're married, and we're at 80 years old where we even have grandkids, and you know, from a fucking is it raining by you? You know what I mean? So I'm assuming this is you, because you're And I think this is where the danger is with this energy of, are you sure you're interpreting something correct? Because if you're not, you're going to try to. You're going to try to interpret the shit out of it until you may become even obsessive about it, you know? So there's definitely an energy exchange at play that's being kind of interpreted quite uniquely here. I think by you. Let's see. For the 8 of Pentacles in the recent past, you get the 7 of Swords, the World card, the 2 of Swords. Wait a minute. So this is you investing into a potential commitment that felt like, my God, this is nice, this is good. But there's so much overthinking at play on your end that I don't even know how you showed up for this with anything that you showed up for this. So every time you do something to contribute to this energy of, or this dynamic in any kind of way, you show up with a lot of overthinking and a lot of maybe questioning, maybe doubts, maybe fears, you know. There's so much, a little bit of aggravation at play there. If that's you, I don't know who that is, you know. So much complication of things. For the 4 of Wands, you get the Ace of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, the 7 of Wands. Which ultimately is going to result into, I want this commitment to play out, but I'm also going to be against it because I'm bringing all of these thoughts that are counterproductive for this. So it's gonna result into an energy of I want this, but I don't want this. In the physical, that's how it's gonna manifest ultimately. Let's do the Lovers. The Death card, the Judgment card, the 2 of Pentacles. So it kind of not played out at anything eventually. It's kind of shown up as a dead end. At some point for the situation, there's a dead end, which still kind of leaves things up in the air because that's how it was played out to begin with, you know? So even if this, let's say, closed off in the physical, you're left up in the air about it. You may think that there's unfinished business there, which is not necessarily unfinished business. That's how this whole situation was played out from beginning to end, in a sense of confusion, in a sense of two energies, two contradicting energies playing out at the same time. So, okay. So it looks like it has no real closure, whatever happened there. For the Queen of Swords, in the current situation, you get the 3 of Pentacles, the 4 of Swords, the 6 of Cups. Alright, so you're showing me a partnership here, a soul connection, someone that's part of your soul family for sure. And you're saying, this feels good. This feels nice. I'm not saying it, I'm not for sure if it's the same one as in the past, but in a different way. It may show up very different at this moment in time. Because what happened there, that was closed off. That doesn't mean that the situation can't transition into something else. Or it could be something new. But whatever it is, it's kind of clean cut. It's kind of like, this is good. Okay. Let me do the Devil. The King of Cups, the 3 of Wands, the 7 of Pentacles. You're shown up as with the sense of, we're going to pick up where we left it, you know? We're going to pick it back up. Is this you going in Fantasyland with it? Left what? Unless it's that energy. And again, it shifted into something else. Maybe it was supposed to be something that didn't really pan out, and then now you're friends or something. I don't know. And Your heart is still stuck in that moment in time. It's like, well, it's supposed to still play out according to my heart like that. So if it's not, then I'm going to take it in my fantasy land and I'm going to continue it as if it is. I hope that's not... Well, it could be that that's what's happening, because it's unhealthy. Whatever's going on here, it's unhealthy, because it carries the devil energy. But like, make sure you're not playing this game alone, because then that's when it becomes unhealthy. Are you, just you, taking it back from where it was left off, or is it the both of you? Because I don't know. Let's do the Page of Wands. In the current situation, the Page of Swords, the Ace of Cups, the Ten of Cups. Too late. You're in fantasy land. You're up there. You're like, can I dream about it though? Can I just dream about it? Sure you can. Sure, as long as you're aware. Hey, I'm in my fantasy land with it. And, you know, if I feel good about it, I feel good about it. If I come back to planet Earth and it doesn't feel good about it, then it's on me. Okay. If you have that awareness over it, fine. What do I care? It's your fantasy land. You know, it's but you're a gunner. You're in fantasy land with it. Fantasy land is dangerous. As long as there's awareness, it's not as dangerous. But it's dangerous because it's filled with expectations and how we would like for it to be. And then we come back to reality and it's like, oh, that doesn't match. Guess what's going to happen? Guess who's going to be disappointed? And guess who's going to fall on their head from fantasy land? So, yeah, I like fantasy land. Look, I love it. It's beautiful. But keep a sense of balance between that and the reality of things. Because otherwise you're going to fall on your head from it. For the Ten of Pentacles, I pulled 4 by mistake. There's never mistakes though. For the Ten of Pentacles, you get the 4 of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the 2 of Wands, the 2 of Cups. Oh, okay, so you are back on planet Earth, and you're really, really determined to stay here and to keep that balance between Fantasyland and Earth. But from the angle of Fantasyland, you're still kind of having that expectation for things to play out a certain way. So, okay, so that expectation is still here. Let me do the 5 of Pentacles. In the immediate future, you get the Knight of Swords, the 8 of Pentacles, the Page of Cups. Okay, you're managing to somehow balance yourself out. So even if Earth, planet Earth, is showing you a little bit of a lot different reality than what you got going on in Fantasyland, I feel like you've reached a place of balance and discarded the expectations of Fantasyland to kind of go through this in a pretty healthy way, I would say. To be like, okay, planet Earth is showing me no way things are happening here, but I'm gonna adapt, I'm gonna adjust, I'll do just fine, you know, because there's a change here, there's a shift that's happening once you fall back to reality. But you're not taking it as, oh my god, what the fuck just hit me. No, you're taking it as, yeah, no, I acknowledge this is the reality of it. And it might not align with my fantasy land, but it is what it is, you know? I'll adapt. Okay. As I said, as long as you can do that, I'm fine. And there are some changes that are happening, again, surrounding your stability here through all of this. For the Knight of Pentacles in the immediate future, you get the Knight of Cups, the Fool, the Queen of Swords. And you're good with that because you like these changes, because I feel like you need these changes, in all honesty. I feel like you're the one that's making these changes ultimately. There's some things that are at play here. That's why you're being called back to planet Earth, because some things are shifting when it comes to your stability, your reality overall. And you're going with it. I like the way you're showing up here. Super clear-minded. You know, you're not, what happens in Fantasyland stays in Fantasyland. You're not bringing that over. Okay. Okay. There's that, again, that slippery slope that sometimes when you go in Fantasyland, it's okay to visit. Just don't bring anything with you. Don't bring the expectation of that. Don't bring, let it be there. It's fine. It's nice to have. And you're doing that. You've learned how to do that, apparently. You've mastered the skill to not bring shit down from Fantasyland. Or at least here you're showing up as that. From the universe for you as a final advice, you get the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, the Ace of Cups. Yeah, and it could be therapeutic even, having a Fantasyland while things are changing in your reality, in your stability especially, because it's almost like, I like to go in those energies in which there's a whole world that I created that looks beautiful and there's love in it, and it's kind of like your little escape route or something at times, not all the time. When it's too hard to deal with the changes that are at play here, you kind of have your escape there, which again, for that reason, keep your Fantasyland. When it becomes unhealthy, try to come back into a place of balance here between Fantasyland and planet Earth. But yeah, anyways, that's what I have for you. Hope this helped, and I'll see you next time.